Anyways, let's go ahead and listen to the greater plan that they had, the greater Israel, something that has been being parroted for quite a while now, and nobody really wanted to accept it. And now it's being brought up to the highest level. And let's hear what he has to say.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. You're saying that's the original deed.
So, I'm glad he brought this up, all right? And this is one thing you need to understand. I don't believe that they're ever going to be successful in it, okay? I don't believe that they will. I don't believe that they're going to take this whole entire region. They're trying to, but the reason why I don't believe it is because you have to understand that, let's say for the sake of argument, okay, that what they're saying is 100% true and that God will give this land to the Israelis, to them. Benjamin Netanyahu is not from the lineage of Abraham. He is a Polish man from Ukraine or, from Poland, sorry. A lot of people who claim to be from the descendant of Abraham are literal bunch of Europeans who converted to the religion of Judaism. They're a bunch of Europeans who, make it simple. So pretty much you have a bunch of people who have nothing to do with Abraham, who have come, all right, bunch of Satanists, I would say, who have leached themselves onto a religion to try to dominate this region. And if you understand the history of this region, which I'm reading up on, I'm trying to understand this because so much battle has been happening here. This place has been the land that they've been, different superpower have been trying to conquer for so long because it's such a strategic area of the world. Okay. And so you have a bunch of Satanists who have leashed themselves onto the religion, okay, and then try to use that to pretty much take over this whole entire region right here. And if you look at it from the Islamic perspective, if you understand from Islamic perspective, you will understand that they will not be successful. Even from the Christian perspective, because from the Christian perspective, they believe that when all the Jews return back to the Holy Land, then Jesus is going to return. And what does Jesus say? Anybody who does not believe in me, right in front of me. And we believe that the Jews don't believe in Jesus. So according to the Christians, all the Jews who do not believe in Jesus are going to get killed. According to the Muslim, when the Mahdi comes, he's going to go ahead and liberate Jerusalem, and then he's going to bring about peace in the world again. And we see all of this happening right before our own eyes. Now, based off of the religion, you may interpret it differently, but the conclusion is that they're not going to be successful in taking this whole place because these are a bunch of people who do not believe in God, by the way. Zionists do not believe in God. Theodor Herzl, the founder of Zionism, he did not believe in God. So how can you say that God promised you a land in which you don't believe in? So they're pretty much trying to force the hands of God to give them this land, when in reality, you can't force God to do anything. When God says something, that's gonna. When He says A, it's gonna be A. You can't say B. So that's one of the reasons why I don't believe that. I don't believe that they're gonna be successful in it. And to end it off, this is Ken O'Keefe over here. And this video is very old. This video is old. He just repurposed it so that way it gives you an idea of, you know, what he's been saying for quite a while now.
Israel? Do you know what Greater Israel is?
Forget all this crap. What about the 40,000? Let's talk about the 40,000. Let's talk about.
Do you know about Greater Israel?
Forget all that crap.
Do you know about the Samson option?
Just forget all this conspiracy crap. Let's talk about what's going on.
There's no conspiracy.
Let's talk about what real stuff.
Samson option's a conspiracy.
Had there been any kind of genocide in Gaza, it would have been finished, the fight, a long time ago.
Okay, listen. Now, as a student of law who takes
FYI, he's dead, by the way, of cancer.
Law very seriously, it seems, James, that you're waiting for every single one of the Palestinians to be exterminated before you're willing to acknowledge a genocide. The whole point of bringing charges at the International Criminal Court is to avoid the ultimate genocide. Now, by the way, Greater Israel, getting back to it, you say it's a conspiracy. That's ignorant, by the way. Greater Israel is an absolutely declared intention plan. And guess who stands in the way of Greater Israel more than anybody else? The Palestinians, because they have a lawful claim to that land. Historic Palestine is known as a factual reality. It's in the Bible, which you may or may not care about. The bottom line is the history books make this clear. Jesus was a Palestinian from Nazareth, no less. These are the descendants of Jesus of Nazareth. Whether you love him, hate him, acknowledge him,
you take it back to history, we're never going to get anywhere,
we've only got a minute left.
So yeah, like I said, right, the whole Greater Israel was pretty much around. The idea was floating around that people knew about it, but yet nobody wanted to admit it to the mainstream media. And this brings me to pretty much Mike Huckabee admitting, right? Admitting that if that's what's going to happen, so be it. If that's what is promised to the Israelis, so be it. The Arabs will just lay down their lives and let the Israelis take over and achieve their Greater Israel. And the Arabs were not very happy with that because they went ahead and actually released a statement. All right. Breaking news: diplomatic backlash against Mike Huckabee after saying Israel should take over the Middle East. 14 country plus major region bloc have publicly condemned him. Jordan, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, Indonesia, Qatar, Lebanon, Kuwait, Pakistan, Bahrain, Oman, and Palestine and Syria. So pretty much, I'm not going to read this whole entire letter for you. You can go ahead and pause it for yourself and then read the whole thing for yourself. So yeah, this is pretty much the letter of condemnation. But this is the thing about it, right? This is something that's not new. Based off of the way that they have been acting in the Middle East, we can all come to a conclusion that this was an obvious goal that they were trying to achieve. Nobody would attack Israel, but yet they have the audacity to constantly go around saying that they're defending themselves against the Palestinians. And the way that they're acting with the Palestinians are the only, they're the one that's pretty much protecting the Middle East right now, believe it or not. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Yeah, mark my word. Palestinians are the ones who are protecting the Middle East right now. Although they don't have, strong weaponry, yet they are pretty much, the block from these monsters taking over Jordan, taking over Syria, taking over the half of UAE, going all the way to taking over half of Iraq, all the way next to Iran. So pretty much after the whole genocide that has happened right now, they have reduced the population of Palestinian down to a really small number there. I don't know the exact number, right? And while they're doing that, they're now trying to get America to topple Iran. And while America is doing that, guess what? As soon as Americans as soon as Americans are done being, ground up into meat dust over there, now the survivors are not going to have to make their way to Turkey and then try to topple Turkey. This is the plan that they have. Because Turkey, they say that Turkey is now becoming a threat. That idea is now starting to float around there. They haven't really solidified the idea, but it's only a matter of time now before they say, okay, let's go ahead and treat Turkey like the way we treated Iran. They have weapon of mass destruction. They're building a nuclear bomb. They're doing this. They're doing that. All the lies that they use for Iraq, WMD, now they were using that for Iran, which didn't work. That Iran has enriched uranium and that they're about to build a bomb. So Trump went ahead and destroyed their uranium, but yet we're still trying to go with war with them. Why? Because Iran has a ballistic missile that's able to reach Israel. It's the same thing that they're just going to keep parroting over and over again. And for some reason, Americans do not want to wake up to the idea that your whole entire country is completely taken over. You are pretty much being used to destroy human lives in the Middle East just so these monsters, these demonic idiots, can go ahead and achieve their greater Israel. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned a little bit from that. I'll catch you guys up later. Assalamu alaikum.